All right, gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is October, and completely forgot about this tool, this hand tool, push-behind tool, that we should have done on the last two fields, but we didn't. Nonetheless, there is a stone picker, so we're going to utilize this. We're going to get the rest of the stones up off this smaller field, and as we move forward, for obvious reasons, we're going to utilize this a lot more. But those first two, unfortunately, are just going to have the rocks in them. Nothing we can do about that. But, yeah, we're going to get the rocks up off this field. Now, what are we going to do with the rocks right now? Really nothing. I guess we're just going to make a pile of rocks at this point, because there's no real use for them at current for us. You know, we only have $1,489 in the bank account. So not much, right? Not much money at all. And really, we can't do anything with the stones because we don't have enough money to put anything down to do with the stones. So we'll just make a pile of them and kind of save them for future reference. Now, a couple other notes. Crustu did make a modification to the rules. Specifically, he had me go in and check and see if I can actually... let me go to the menu here. He had me come in and check if I could actually do any kind of land manipulation from here to the island. It's not allowed, so we really don't have a way to get over here. The only way we could potentially get over there, and I haven't looked, I have no idea if it's possible or not, is if we're able to buy some kind of a boat, like a barge or something, which it doesn't really seem like we can, but if we could do that, I guess we could get over there and you know, do the house that way, and I have to load up the barge and move it over there. I just don't think that's really feasible or possible, probably. I don't think the actual map itself allows that, but if it does, I will go that approach more than likely. But he basically just modified it to those of us that are on console and cannot do land manipulation here, cannot force land manipulation here. We can just kind of build the house wherever we want, really. So, you know, that's perfectly fine. But I can kind of show you here. See, I can try to do it here. I mean, well, if I don't own the land right now, excuse me. But if I was to buy this land and do this, it would say not accessible right here in the middle where the water is. So, you know, because of that reason, there's you know, there's not really going to be a whole lot we can do on console, so we're just going to have to shift and go elsewhere, if you will. So we'll figure out a good location for the house, though. Probably something like up on a hill or something like that, where it would still be kind of a dream home in my eyes, where not just something that's here on the edge of the water. Not although that would certainly be a dream home. I think if we had something up on a mountain or a hill or whatever that overlooked the ocean from a distance, I feel like that would be a pretty good dream home as well. So we'll figure that out as we move along. But again, not something that we're even worried or concerned about right now of any sort. That's going to be, you know, a good chunk of the way through the series before we even begin on the house. We've got a lot of things we got to get done first before that even becomes a situation for us. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good. Now I did look at the time lapse a bit. I don't know. You guys let me know. To me, it looked like it might have been a little bit nauseating, like a little bit, but, you know, there's not really a whole lot I can do about it. I could slow it down. It would mean a much longer time lapse, but even if I slow it down, I mean, from what I could tell, it didn't really make that big of a difference. It was still kind of nauseating to an extent, but I guess you let me know. Maybe if we go at it from a different angle, maybe if we record from a different side or something, maybe that would be better. I don't know. But anyway, our fields themselves, they're doing relatively well. The only thing it really says is it needs, let me show you really quick. It says it needs rolling, but it's got a 72% yield bonus, 50% fertilized. Not really a whole lot else we can do. Because of that, we're not going to be able to fertilize it again, unfortunately. We don't have anything to fertilize it with. We're not allowed to use solid fertilizer or liquid fertilizer. So we can't really do anything there. But, yeah, we're moving. Now, used market, anything out here? Ooh, that's a pretty nice tractor. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get that. We also have this as an option, too, which that could work out pretty well for us, but I still think going with the hand forklift is the way to go, and I might even buy two of them, one for our yard area and then one for the shop. I mean, that's going to be about $500, right? But that's something I might consider doing. I don't think there's any way we're going to be able to buy that tractor, although it would be nice to have it. I don't see any way that that's going to be possible. Unless we went very heavy on selling everything and went really back to the roots here of going old school like this, which, again, I've enjoyed it way more than I expected, so I'm actually okay doing that, but I just don't think that's really probably the most beneficial thing for us to do. It's not that much horsepower than what we currently have. It's just a bigger, nicer tractor, and it's four-wheel drive. That's the only bonus there. Anyway, we've got some stuff we can sell today as well. Typical stuff. We've got, well, besides the crickets, we've got 2 pallets of crickets, which is fantastic for us. That's going to be really good. Those are going to be worth about $1,000 a piece, so that's really going to help. We've got 2 pallets of rice saplings, and then some goat milk going. Obviously, not a ton of goat milk, but there's still some. So today, as I mentioned, our main objective here, our main goal is going to be trying to mow up the remainder of this grass here, and then get started on getting stuff in the ground some more, right? So we're going to continue to make more of these fields and you know, see what we come up with, right? We really need this stuff in the ground as much as we can, and honestly, I'd like to get 2 more fields done today, just kind of keep that rotation going, and as I mentioned in the last episode, I'm not going to be 100% perfect on this, but I'd like to keep, you know, 2 going at the same time, just constantly having 2 to harvest, constantly having 2 to drill, constantly, etc., etc. I think that's going to be the way to really get ourselves in more of a contention to actually being able to start upgrading some of this stuff to more non-manual items, right? Love these manual items, and it's going to be really it's going to be the savior for the whole series here at the beginning, but you know, eventually we definitely want to make some upgrades and be able to do things a little bit quicker, have a little bit larger fields, etc., right? Imagine the kind of money we would have right now, though, if I started the series with this stuff and didn't buy a tractor. I didn't buy anything else, right? We'd have a decent chunk of change still. Although, at that point, there's probably some, I don't even know, but there's probably some kind of like cart trailer of some sort. So I probably could have gone that approach as well. Obviously, it would take a lot longer than utilizing the tractor to drive it around, but oh well, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it now. Unless I wanted to completely restart the series, which I do not want to do. We just got very lucky that these were in Mod Hub, and I still think that these came out like either the same day that I started this series or the day after. Is like right around it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it was before that. I don't know. I was gone for a little while, so it could have happened when I was gone and I just missed it. But it was recent, for at least for us on Mod Hub. If you had PC, I know these have been out for a while. I know that Daggerwind's been using this in a series. His Extreme Survival series. Which, this isn't actually called the Extreme Island Challenge, but Extreme Island Survival Challenge, but I mean, at the point of what we're doing right now, it might as well be called that, right? Might as well be called that. So we got a decent amount of stones out here. Nothing, I mean, we're not even close to filling up the bucket or whatever, but it's a decent amount. I'm just going to leave them in here. I'm not even going to dump them yet. There's no reason to dump them until we're full. Now, we might be full today, right? Because we're going to be mowing the grass here. And then starting to, you know, work out putting some fields down. And in that process, when we're done with that, more than likely, we'll get the stones up. We'll see where we are time-wise. Are we going to be able to get all the fields drilled today that I want to? I don't know. I guess it really depends. I mean, the stones, they're going just as slow as it is to plow the field. It's not super slow, but it's not fast. And obviously, when we're done, it takes quite a while to get back up and drop this off in a location that you want it to be in, right? So... okay, so let's do a quick autosave here. Go to the right screen there, Z. Come on, buddy. Alright, crickets. Crickets, 1983, so 2,000, so we're going to get $4,000 out of this. Farmer's Market is just the same location that we always take it to. I think that's the only location on the map, which makes sense, but... So, the price is just kind of stagnant right now. Not dropping, not raising, not doing anything. But the price, as you can see, it fluctuates by $3 is basically what it's telling me. So, I'm not concerned of any sort of selling the crickets every single episode. We're going to be selling them every episode. There's no reason not to. Alright, so let's jump into the forward, or the Lizard 6600, as we call it here. Get the mower and we'll get started mowing up some of the rest of this grass here. Like I said, we're going to mow... I think we're going to mow the rest of the grass, actually, as a matter of fact. We're just going to mow it all. Why not? What are we going to do with all that grass? I don't know. We're just going to stack it up over there by the goats. We're not going to use it all. We know that, but... Alright, evidently we can mow this section again, too. It's not as tall as this out here, but evidently we can mow that, so that's pretty nice. I'm going to get relatively close here. Maybe not. Well, maybe I will go the whole way. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to get mowing here, gang. We've got a lot to mow. Let's get all of this mowed up, and then we'll kind of go from there on what else we decide to do today. The old too many bales. I was afraid of that. Shoot. Now what are we gonna do? We got all this grass, we can't do anything with it. There's no way the amount of goats and stuff that we have right now are gonna eat through all this grass. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? I guess I could try to find like a multi-fruit silo potentially. Oh man, what are we gonna do here? We're in a bit of trouble now. We don't have tons of money, right? We really don't. We don't have tons of money here, so this is a problem. Well, I tell you what. The first thing we need to look at is a forklift here. So let's look and get this manual forklift for $200. We'll add blue to it. We'll just continue with our blue theme here. Oh, it costs more money. I don't want to pay more if it costs more money. We don't really have the money to spend on that. The other ones didn't cost any extra money. Whatever, we'll keep it green. Alright, so... this thing is pretty sweet, man. It's going to take an eternity to get back to, though, so... okay, well... we know what we got to do here, gang, so I will see you when we're back. Well, we're almost back here. It's been a slow process, but the answer is quite simple, gang. It's something we use more times than we probably anything else. The silage pole stick, whatever you want to call it, That's the answer. How much, as a matter of fact, how much does it... Well, it doesn't even say. I don't... It's not outrageously expensive, though, so I really don't care. And honestly, I'm probably going to put this in the wrong spot. I always end up doing so, but I'm just going to stick it somewhere in the middle here. You can kind of drive through it, right? So it doesn't really matter. But we've got to sell some stuff to be able to afford it. It's $2,000. We don't have $2,000 right now. We will have $2,000 here in very, very soon once we sell the crickets and obviously the rice saplings. I don't think I'm going to sell the goat milk right now. I think I'm going to hold on to that for a little bit longer. As a matter of fact, I'm actually considering shifting gears completely from goats to sheep. I've been kind of pretty heavy pushing in, putting cotton in the ground. And I think, I don't know if you could tell or not in that last time lapse, but, and speaking of that, the time lapse kind of started a little bit later than I anticipated. I forgot to hit record on OBS, so that was my fault. But anyway, normally I don't stop the recording. I normally just go through and edit it out. But today, for whatever reason, I stopped the recording. So anyway, my plan, though, over there is to kind of make another cotton field kind of up against the edge of the water here. So quite a large field, starting somewhere in this range, and then just kind of follow along this path that I've made without obviously getting into the sand. And then somewhere up in this range, turn around and then come back. So it'd be a pretty large field, probably our largest field, honestly. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm going to get the cotton in there today, but if we can get it all plowed up today, that would be great. But obviously, we've run into another issue here, so this is going to play a more pivotal role for right now. I think I'm going to have to put these on one at a time, is what it seems like, at least. Maybe you can pick up two? I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty difficult because I can't spread apart the width here of these. So, yeah, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to pick up both of those at the same time. Okay, I stand corrected. I do not know why I doubted myself. Evidently, it's possible. So this will be a nice little bit of a income here for us. Obviously, it's not going to get us in fantastic shape, but it'll be decent. It will be decent. Please move. Thank you. Oh, it does not go up very high. Can I even make that on the trailer? Oh boy. Oh boy. It does not even fit on top of the trailer. Are you kidding me? We got it to work. It was not pretty, but we did get it to work. Alright, so that's going to be another issue. That trailer is too high. What are we going to do here? I guess I'm going to have to be on a higher ground and have the trailer on a lower ground of some sort, and maybe we need to put a ramp in or something. I don't know. Ramps are not the cheapest thing in the world, though, I don't think. So up here is definitely a little bit of higher ground, so I think I'm just going to have to kind of go about it from this angle here. And then attempt to flip this around in a location where it's a little bit lower than that. So hopefully we can put these on the other side, hopefully. Nope, we're still going to struggle. It's the only way I can do it, and that is not ideal at all. Alright, that's going to be a problem. We're going to have to we're going to figure something else out for that, because that's not going to work for very long. Oof, I mean, we are running into all kinds of issues. Too many bales. The trailer's too tall for the forklift to reach it. We're having some issues. Well, we're going to go sell these. Evidently, I'm going to pick up grass, too. Well, this is just going wonderfully. How am I going to... Oh, boy. That's fine. Whatever. They're out of the way for now. That's fine. I can fix that here in a minute. They're out of the way for now. Okay, let's go sell these, and let's see what kind of money we get. All right, we're here. Let's make a little bit of money here. I'm hoping for just under $5,000. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh, we made a little bit more than that. So we made $5,000. Near it makes no difference. $5,600. Fantastic. That is good. That is really good. That is really, really good. It's great, even. Not even... It's just great, is what that is. It's fantastic. Okay, awesome. So, that's enough for us to put the silage pole down, which means we can get the grass bales out of there and be able to continue our process here of what we were doing before we were so rudely interrupted by a limitation on the number of bales that are allowed on the map. Let's get back to work. All right, we're cruising along here, gang, and as you can see, this is by far the largest field we're going to have. It is a gigantic field. It is taking us a long time to get this field done. But I definitely wanted a large field, right? I think in the last couple episodes I talked about having a lot of smaller fields, but I had a bit of a rethink off camera after I did some edits and things like that, and I decided that this was one of the fields that I wanted to have that was large. Now, the remainder of the fields we put in are likely to be smaller fields or very similar to the size we already have over there. But yeah, we're cruising along, and we got a ways to go here before this whole field is done, because it is, as I mentioned, a very large field. Now, as much as I would love to get cotton in the ground here on this field today, I just don't think we're going to have enough time in this episode, but we will get the stones up for sure. We definitely want to do that, and we'll see what else we can get into, right? Now, I've been talking briefly about the goats, right? And we are going to more than likely flip those to sheep, but for the time being, we're going to keep them as goats. There's not really a reason to change them for the time being, but soon enough, they will likely be flipped to, well, I don't know, maybe we keep them and maybe we make another pen for sheep. I don't know, but either way, right now, we don't really have tons of money and not really something that will be done, at least in the next handful of episodes, I would suspect. Maybe it will, but more than likely not, given the amount of money that we have, right? We've got other things we need to purchase too, so, you know, it really is going to depend on all those factors, but I want to kind of go pretty heavy on cotton here and make some clothes, because I do think that is a fantastic approach to dig ourselves out of this hole we've put ourselves in here, and be able to actually start utilizing some equipment that's not just manual labor, right? Actually start being able to utilize some other things. Now, we can lease things, of course, but yeah, I mean, leasing's great, but it only goes so far, right? Eventually, at some point, you're going to want to actually own it, because you're going to spend more money from the lease if you know, versus just actually owning it outright. Certainly, there are some things where you may not use them all that often, and leasing makes a lot of sense, but well, I mean, you already saw what I did with the plow, right? The plow I was utilizing for the very first field wasn't this, and it was almost the exact same width as this, and we were almost going the exact same speed. I think maybe we were going 2 miles per hour, maybe 3 at most. So we weren't going that much faster, and you could tell how much it cost to lease it. It was like almost $1,000. I think it was $800. And we have this entire plow here for only a couple hundred. So given the size of that plow versus the size of this one, now even though it's slightly slower, this is 100% well worth our money, because we own this, right? We don't have to pay any leasing costs. We own it. So this is going to be a big field, man. It's going to be a real big field when we're done. I mean, you can just look at it. Look at the size of it compared to the other ones. It's going to be big. We also have that sorghum field over there, which we put in, and I, you know, plan to put some chickens down, right, and they'll eat that sorghum. The other field, you know, this field here, ideally, I think we're going to put wheat or something along those lines, because we do really need to take the grass that we have and turn it into silage, and we need to make some TMR, so that way we can get cows. And then cows will produce a lot for us, right? We'll get milk out of the cows, depending on what pen we put down. You'll get the slurry, we'll get the manure, right? So we can actually start utilizing some more... well, we can start utilizing those as, you know, your natural fertilizer, because we're not allowed to have any solid fertilizer or any herbicide or anything of that sort, right? So I think that makes the most sense here with all of that, the grass that we have there. Speaking of the grass, we put down that silage pole in the last time lapse, but we didn't really look and see what the storage is of it. You would think I would know it since I use it so often, but 400,000 liters, so that's going to be plenty. Our little field that we have here, our little plot of land, I should say, we're never going to get 400,000 liters of grass out of that. Now, if we don't do anything with it, that's a different story, right? If we don't actually turn it into anything, then we might. We might hit 400,000. I don't know. But I would suspect not, because we're really, you know, kind of focusing at this point on putting things into the ground, right? We're going to get everything mowed, but we're really utilizing the grass that we're mowing just to kind of store it for animal perspective, right? So the odds are we're not going to hit 400,000 here off this one little plot of land. Now, if we expand out further and we don't have any other types of equipment or anything else to kind of store this stuff in, that's a different story. But, yeah. I guess the other thing is we could we could go back to more of a bigger sized bale, right? The bigger the bale is, it's less bales on the actual map itself. Even though there's more in that bale, it shouldn't have any kind of a limit of any sort, right? So that's another option, I suppose. A lot of people have been seeming to really enjoy this series, so if you have been one of those individuals who have enjoyed it, I appreciate it. I know there's some people that don't, but I think it's fun, man. The first 2 episodes are rough, but now I'm having a lot of fun with this series. And I said it in the last episode, and I'll say it again now, but I really did not anticipate that I was going to love utilizing this manual labor, hand pushing type of equipment, and I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. It certainly makes me want to do another challenge in the future utilizing this equipment and like starting with this equipment, right? A very small, well, I say small, a map that has smaller size fields, things like that. I think that would be a fun thing to incorporate. I'm not exactly sure how I would incorporate it yet, but my brain's thinking, my wheels are turning in my brain, if you will, that I'm coming up with some ideas and things like that. So we'll see. Not anytime soon. Obviously, this is... we're kind of doing it right now, but in the future, I might come up with something. You all know how much I love creating challenges, whether they work or they don't work. You know how much I like doing it. So, or just different ideas for a different kind of a series, right? Even if it's not specifically a challenge. So, we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. We still have a long, long way to go here. When we harvest this is going to be, man, this is going to be big money. Big money. Obviously not right then and there, but when we turn it into all the clothes, this is going to be big money, man. We might even have ourselves a little bit of a we might have ourselves a little bit of a sweatshop of all the grannies in there knitting the clothes for us. We got just 3, 4, 5 different grannies knitwears down just knitting clothes for us. I mean, if we end up going the approach that I'm talking about, if we end up going with some heavy sheep here soon, and then we've got all of these fields with cotton in it, it very well may feel like it's we're running a sweat operation here, a sweatshop operation. I shouldn't say that. You get the joke. You get the joke. I don't think I ever noticed that. I don't know, is it a volcano or is it just another island? I don't know. I don't think I ever noticed that out there. The barge is way out there. You can see the top of the barge there over top of the background. Well, there's another one down there, too. Wonder where this is supposed to be. Maybe it's just fantasy. I was going to say, but I don't know. Wonder if this is supposed to be based off of a specific island group or set somewhere else. I don't know. Oh, there's a big rock we just jumped over. Gonna have to talk to my buddy Crestu about at the time of this recording, last night's game. He's a Montreal Canadiens fan. I'm obviously a Columbus Blue Jackets fan because I'm born and raised in Ohio. They played each other last night. Montreal ended up winning that game. There was some how am I going to word it? There were some loose calls and some calls that should have been called if they were calling the other one so loosely. I'm going to put it that way. He may be watching this. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. But I don't know if he watched it or not. We were talking the other day, though, about how his Montreal Canadiens were doing relatively well, and my Columbus Blue Jackets were doing well. So there are two teams definitely fighting for that playoff spot, and at a bare minimum fighting for the wild card spots. In the East, has been nuts. So absolutely crazy. If you look at the West compared to the East, there's I think all but like maybe 3 or 4 teams in the East could all of them would have better records than I think 3/4 of the West. It's crazy. And so some of the people that are in the East aren't in the playoffs. And if they were in the West, they would be like 1st or 2nd overall. It's just nuts the difference between the East and the West right now as far as points and wins go. I had planned on getting the rest of this whole entire thing mowed up, but it actually took a lot longer than I anticipated just to mow what we did mow. I got a little close up there in the right-hand corner, so I'm sure some of you saw that. I was trying to do the best I could to stay kind of away from the sand at all. I didn't want to even be close to it. But up here in the corner, the sand kind of cut in or jetted in, and I didn't really notice that until almost it was too late. But I think we're okay because there's still stubbly grass there, and I don't think we actually even impeded into the sand at all. But it got a little close up there in that corner. Now this is a very awkward field, so I'll be interested to see the steering assist or the whatever you want to call it, the GPS or whatever. I'd be interested to see how it sorts out the lines for this field. I would suspect it's going to be 2 headland passes and then some very awkward shaped angles and lines that may or may not be the most, well, may not be the fastest possible way we could go about it, right? I don't know. We'll have to see. The other thing I don't know is, are we able to put a worker on doing this? Well, I mean, I can't do it yet, but are our workers able to utilize these machines? Or these implements, I guess? I don't know. I would assume not, right? I would assume all of these have to be utilized by the actual person playing the game. I would assume you can't put a worker on doing this. But I don't know. Maybe you can. I think we're going to test that out here once we're done with this and we jump over to the stone collector. Now, I don't know exactly how this is going to work with the stones, right? When we fill up that bucket, which I don't even know if we'll fill it up on this one or not. It seems like it holds quite a lot. But whenever we fill up that bucket, or, well, I say that bucket, that box or whatever it is, I don't know if I have to go and unload it somewhere, or does it actually put them in, like, pallets? Because if it puts them in pallets, well, not really. I was going to say, then we have a bit of a loophole there, a bit of a gray area there. But not really, because the stones are something we're not allowed to sell. We can't sell stones, we can't sell wood. But everything else you can sell if it's in any kind of a pallet form. I don't know if I mentioned that or not in the last episode or not, but I did talk to Crustu, and that palletizer thing, or in any way you want to put them in any kind of bucket, if you can put anything in a bucket, or a bucket, I keep saying bucket, if you put anything in a pallet, even the grass, if you can get it in a pallet, then you are 100% allowed to sell it. It's just you can't sell it without it being in a pallet form. So I 100% can utilize that that palletizer production. I 100% can utilize that, and we likely are going to be utilizing that at some point. Honestly, I'll probably go pretty heavy on the productions. Everyone knows that I like to utilize productions a lot. I use those in pretty much every series. I will be doing that heavily, but there are certainly probably going to be some circumstances where it would be nice to be able to put stuff into some kind of a pallet form and then just go and sell those outright, especially when you're kind of desperate for a little bit of money, right? I fully believe there are going to be times where we're going to be desperate for some money. Maybe it's something where we didn't necessarily have to have it right then and there, but there might be something in the used market that's just like, we want that, right? It will take a little bit of a loss from what we could make to go ahead and get that now, right? I guess I should turn this off. It's funny that you have to turn them on. Okay, so we'll head on over and pick up the stones. And I'm going to attempt to see if it lets me do anything with a worker or not. Like I said, I don't expect it to. I really don't. I think it's going to say, nope, you're not allowed to do that, Z. But who knows? Who knows? And they're just making a big triangle-like shape here on the box. It's really a box is what it is, isn't it? I would assume we just dump it out and it makes a pile. Maybe I should have tested that before we came over here, but... Alright, we're underway. Evidently you can put a worker on it. No way. I want to see this. I want to see this work. No way. Does it actually... Oh my gosh, it actually works! Look at this! That's actually unbelievable. I mean, we're not going to do it, but that's unbelievable. I did not think that was ever even going to be possible. That's crazy. So, I mean, I guess that's good to know, although in the series itself, the rules state we are only allowed to utilize one worker at a time. So I can't have 2, 3, 4, 5 workers going at the same time. And honestly, we would never have that probably ever. I don't normally utilize workers unless I absolutely have to, right? But, yeah, we just got to remember later on when we have tons and tons and tons of things to do, because it's going to happen once we own a lot of land. We're only allowed to utilize one worker, right? So we can't have a second worker doing something else for us. I'm going to have to keep that in my head. That's probably going to be hard for me to remember. I don't use more than 2 very often, but I often use 2 workers a lot of the times, especially when we're later on in the series. I often do that, so I'm going to have to really try to keep a mental note of that, because I'm probably going to screw that up at some point. My hands look a little weird. It looks like I'm breaking my wrist right there on the left. But you know what? Overall, this is a pretty awesome mod, right? It's a pretty awesome mod. I can't really complain all that much about it. Not sure. I probably should have looked and give the person credit, but whoever made it, good job, man. This is great. This is really good. I really, really like this. I don't even think I need to go around the edge there. I don't even think I'm going to worry about it. Because we're kind of picking up some of the stones that are a little bit further away than they're supposed to be. Like that one right there. Like, I did not think we would pick that up, but we did. I don't think we're even going to get this all done. Just looking at OBS right now and the time of where we're at, I don't know if I'm not sure if we're even going to get this done. Now, the nice thing about it is we can do multiple episodes in the same month, so it's not like we have to get it done today. But I mean, I did create quite a large field. I mean, just look at it compared to the other ones. It's at least double the size of this field, at least, if not larger, probably larger, probably 2.5, honestly. Alright, while we're doing that, let's do a quick autosave here. I'm going to scroll down here. Water-wise, everything's fine, so nothing to worry about there. I did say I was going to allow myself to do auto-selling, though. So, I can remember that too. But I also said I wasn't going to do that till much later on in the series, and I'm holding to that. Holding to that. When I say much later on in the series, really what I mean by that is probably, I would say at least 15 to 20 episodes in, at least, bare minimum, if not more. More than likely more, honestly. We need to have a decent amount. We need to have more than one, or, well, I'm going to say this. I'll put it this way. We need to have at least 3 plots of land. At least 3 plots of land before I'm even going to consider doing auto-selling. We'll put it that way. That really gives me a big challenge. All right, we're going to leave this one here, gang. We've got a little bit left to do, Cyril, on this field as far as getting the stones picked up. We're a little bit more than halfway through this field, I think. We'll get the remainder of this done in the next episode. We'll get the cotton put into this field, and then we'll continue our process there of mowing and starting to work on making more fields and getting our whole plot laid out. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button on the case you've yet to do so. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank them enough. There's a link down below if you want early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge. Discord's down there. My second channel's down there. Anything you need as far as any questions about this series in case you stumbled across it, it's all down below. There's a lot going on in this series, if I'm honest with you, so it's probably best for you to check that out down there. You'll get the full details of what I am doing. As I've mentioned, I am literally just following exact verbatim what Crestu is doing, who is the creator of this challenge, with the exception that I am allowing myself to do auto-selling much, much further along in the series. Thanks for watching, gang, and I'll see you next time.